I like that intro.
Very nice.
What's up, everyone? It's Rico and Courtney Gonzalez, Mr. and Mrs. 757. What's going on, everybody?
Hey.
All right, once again, we're back at you. And today's subject, go ahead and kick it off, Court.
All right. We're going to be talking about maintaining harmony as husband and wife. So this isn't really a real estate related podcast, but it's kind of been inspired from the last podcast that we were on with Neil.
Paul Neal.
Top producers.
Yeah.
Paul Neal. Thank you very much. So one of the questions he asked us was, how do you guys work together?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we work side by side, and here's my office or here's my desk and here's his. And I don't really think that we answered that question very well. And whether you work together professionally, whether you're as a husband and wife, or whether you work together simply in a marriage or as parents, well, I feel like what we have to share today might shed some positive light and give you some positive energy towards a harmonious flow to your marriage.
Harmonious.
Yes.
First off, shout out to Nika. We see Nika at the what's it called? The store.
Yes, we saw her in the store.
Yeah, we saw her in the store. She's like, give me a shout out. So shout out to Nika. And a husband.
Actually, Nika, I'm just going to put this out there. You totally inspired me to do this because this podcast in particular has been on my heart to do. And I'm like, who listens to our podcast anyways? And then we saw you and you're like, oh my gosh, I listened to you. Podcast. And this is what you said.
She was quoting Courtney and everything. We're like, oh my gosh, we have fans.
I was like, that's it. This has been on my heart to do. So we're doing it.
We're going to do it. We are doing it right now. So a little bit about us. So we have just came off a 19-year anniversary.
Yes. Happy anniversary, babe.
Thank you. Happy anniversary to you, babe.
Thanks.
20's coming up next year. I wonder what we're going to do. What are we going to do?
We're going to take a vacay.
Hawaii. I don't know. Caribbean.
Oh, Lord.
Who knows? Alaska. No, I don't want Alaska.
Staycation.
Vacation. Now, so we've been married for 19 years, but we've been collectively together since high school.
1999, baby. Taking it back.
We're talking 24 years now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
24 years. So we've been married 19 years, together 24 years. We also have a son that's 20 years old.
Yes, he is 2 weeks away from being 21, if you can believe that.
Wow.
Time flies when you're having fun, folks.
Absolutely does, for sure. And also professionally, we've been working professionally, we have been working together for about 19 years as well.
Yep. Our whole married life, we have professionally worked together. We've been in sales, doing network marketing, and now we are running a business, a real estate business. So here we are and doing business and life together as husband and wife. And there's a lot of, life that happens in between, so, I feel like, I don't know, we haven't just been, doing real estate as a partnership as husband and wife for, 6 years now.
Right.
But, we've been doing life and being in a professional environment, since the gate. So
it goes back even past 19 years. Courtney used to help me bag up my nickels and dimes.
Wow. Yes. And I smoked all your profit. I mean, let's get back on track.
Yes. So anyways, we've been working together. We're like the perfect, some people have a work husband or a work wife. I got one. This is my work wife right here. And she's my wife.
Yes. And one of my good friends asked me, don't you guys get sick of being together all the time? You guys are always together. And the answer is no, we really don't. I mean, we really enjoy each other's company.
I sure do.
Yeah.
I married her so I could be with her. So not go to a job and not be with her for 8 hours, come back home and complain. None of that. I complain while she's next to me.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, we're gonna break this up into a couple different categories. We're gonna talk about working together, just in general, as husband and wife, as professionally.
Mhm.
Then we're going to talk about just working together in a marriage. Most people, the way they do it is they get married. They're learning how to become two, to become one.
Right.
So they're learning like their spouse a lot better now that they're married. Usually they're coming together to live together and all that kind of stuff. So we did it a little backwards. We got married and Theo was our ring bearer. So it was a little backwards, but now
did
we're
all
empty
backwards.
nesters. So
Yeah.
now we get to experience that, -1 kind of thing. But anyways, we're going to talk about working together as parents. And we're going to give you some keys to a harmonious relationship. And these aren't just things that we're going to recommend. These are things that we do. So we put some thought, some time, and some effort into this because divorce is a bad word and we see it a lot. And I come from a broken home myself, but I'm not that stops there. We're not going to have a broken home in our life.
That's right.
And we've dedicated our life to the Lord. So, Jesus is at the center of it all for us. So that is, a triple braided cord cannot be easily broken. So that's kind of that is really the cement to our relationship. But we've also read so many different books together collectively. His needs, her needs, the 5 love languages.
I'm rereading that again.
Yeah, I noticed that. That's
Figured
so funny.
out what my love language is.
Yeah. Okay. You're so amazing. Words of affirmation.
Yeah.
Anyways, and I've read books for myself personally, How to Be a Submissive Wife. Some of you might be so offended by that title, but it's actually an amazing book. It's really helped me with my, spiritual alignment and learning how to trust God. And anyways, and trust
And
my
the
husband.
Bible. We've
Yes,
also
thank
read
you.
the Bible.
That's a big one. Yes. So anyways, we're going to start off with working together.
Okay, real quick. Disclosures, and to reiterate what Courtney said, just a quick disclosure, we are not marriage counselors.
No, we're not.
Okay. But this is what we do.
Correct.
This is how we live because people want to know. Anyways, continue, darling. And
Yes.
hold on. Be, what's it called? Submissive. Anyways, if you were watching on the screen there, Courtney went submissive. Anyways, all right, go ahead. What are we doing now?
All right, working together.
We work together.
Some keys to working together in life. Now, again, professionally for us, that's where we're at right now. So if you professionally want to work with your spouse, some clearly defined goals and clearly defined roles. That has always been our thing from out the gate. Whether we were at home, as mom and dad, mom has certain roles that she plays. Dad has certain roles that he plays. You want to give some examples of that, babe?
As far as what I play is on roles?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was paying attention. You just caught me off guard there. So yeah, as a husband, I am doing the man stuff. I'm taking out the trash, right?
Okay.
I am what am I? I'm paying the bills. I pay the bills in the house.
Right.
Courtney may make the money, but I'm paying the bills. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm doing all the man stuff. I'm making sure the cars are washed, right?
Yes, you do.
I'm just doing all the man stuff that I expect men to do.
Right. And I do the laundry and
we both cook.
I clean the house and clean the bathrooms and, we both do cook. We do team action on that one, teamwork. But anyways, even when you're working together professionally or whether you're working at home as husband and wife or as mom and dad, you have some clearly defined roles that you play in so that there's no question marks as to who's going to do this or there's no, when expectations are not met, that's when disappointment creeps in.
Boom.
But if these expectations are not communicated, then, you are responsible for your own disappointment, brother or sister.
Yeah.
Not me.
That's right.
So when you have clearly defined roles, regardless of what role you're in, whether working together, marriage or parent, like I said, and then like some little tips that we believe is super helpful is if you're working together professionally, you should have a business account for your funds, and that should not commingle into your personal accounts.
So we had to learn that.
Right.
So you did have to learn that.
We did. And we learned Yes, we learned that. So professional accounts and personal accounts. All right.
Keep them separate.
Separate. Yes.
Separate.
Yes. And then when you're married, for us, I have my own checking account. Rico has his own checking account. We make our own money, so to speak, and it goes into our checking accounts that we are responsible for solely. Then we have a savings account that we are joint together. Now he can get into my account, I can get into his account.
We
all
have
those
access
stuff.
to each other's accounts for sure.
Right. But to keep it simple and to keep from getting upset about absolutely stupid things,
Right.
just keep it separate.
I couldn't imagine sharing an account with my wife, because I'll spend some stuff she doesn't know about. She'll spend some stuff I don't know about. And then come to find out when you're doing your accounting just to see how much money you have. What in the world? What'd you spend money on? It's way easier as husband and wife when each of you have your own accounts.
Way easier.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to paying the bills, we have a separate account for that.
Right.
We know exactly how much our bills are for the month. And then we say, hey, we'll go half on it. She puts half, I put half, the bills are paid. We don't even got to worry about it.
Right. You got to do what works for you and your family.
Yes. Yes.
But to keep things organized, to keep things from, unnecessarily having issues, just keep it simple.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And going a little bit back, we do have our roles as a husband and wife, but we also fill in for each other. Quick
That's
example. If I wake up first, I'm making a coffee. She wakes up first, she's making a coffee. That type of thing. We fill in for each other.
Right. It's a team effort.
Definitely. It's a team effort.
Especially
for sure.
husbands, if you got your lady working, if your wife is not a full-time stay-at-home wife and mom, then you guys gotta be a team at these things. You have to fill in for each other. If it'd be one thing if she was just, home with the kids, and it's not that's a lot of work there too. But if you got her out there making a paycheck, then you need to be helping her out around the house.
100% agree.
Thank you. All right. So as for working together in a marriage, the biggest thing is, ladies, you have to keep respect as like the number one thing for your husband. You showing him respect shows him that you love him. And that is something that I had to learn to do.
Oh, yeah.
Big time. Yes. And knowing that his love language is words of affirmation. I remember somebody told me a long time ago, it just irked my nerves so bad that he wanted me to call him his hero. And he wanted me to build him up with my words and tell him how he's my superhero and he's amazing and he's looks so fine today and all those things. Well, it was just so annoying to me. Like, why do I have to do this? And what she told me was a lot of people can't give what they don't have.
Oh.
And, I didn't necessarily have it in me to do. So that's something I had to really take up in prayer and say, Lord, help me with this. I want to build up my husband. I want to fill his love tank. I don't want him to feel disrespected. So help me overcome me so that I can be the best wife for him. So
preach, girl, preach.
A lot of times there's things you can't do on your own and that you do need the help from the Lord to help you out with these things. So the Lord did help me with that. And just from little helpful tips, like I wrote in my phone when he called me, it would say my hero. So when I answered the phone, I'd say my hero. And I had to fake it till I made it in a sense because it didn't feel like saying those things. But when I started saying them, it just became part of it, a part of me. I call him my hero all the time and he loves it and I'm totally okay with it. And it's just like part of my vernacular sometimes. So anyways.
So what Courtney's speaking of as far as love language, there's a book out there called The 5 Love Languages. And here's a tip. Learn who your partner is. If you need to read the book to figure out what turns your partner on or makes your partner happy or makes your partner feel loved, your husband or wife, read the book. So vice versa. I'm wondering why in the world does Courtney want me to take out the trash and mow the lawn and do the dishes? Because she had that acts of service type love language. She likes things being done for her. So
my slave, my love slave.
I had to do the same thing. I have to even announce it. I'm doing the dishes. I'm gonna go mow the lawn. Hey, babe, today. And look how happy she is, right? I'll even just list them off. yo, today I cleaned the house. I scrubbed the toilet. You know what I mean? I went and took out the trash, and I'm gonna grill up some food.
My hero.
Boom. And that makes her happy. So the Bible says for women to respect your husbands and for men to love their wives. And that's what we do. I mean, I respect her too.
Right.
But
I love him too.
As a man, her respecting me makes me feel loved.
Right.
That's
Absolutely.
how we do it as a marriage as well.
Absolutely. And that book can also benefit you in not just your personal marriage, but outside of it as well with your kids. I know very much what my son's love language is. I know very much what my mother's love language is. I know what my grandmother's love language is. I know what everyone in my close knit family's love language is, because it's what, we've read the book and it helps us to communicate love to them.
It's like a people skill. It's almost unfair. It's like a hack to humans. If you know how they feel and what they like, you could control them.
Right.
Like, just joking.
Okay.
So let's go over to 5 love languages real quick. We hit 2 of them. There's words of affirmation,
right?
Which is I like to be told that I'm awesome, or someone likes to be told that they're doing something good.
Build
them up with your words. There's gift giving. Okay, like Christmas time, you give gifts. It doesn't have to be a big gift all the time. Something you could make, something you can buy, something small, something big, whatever.
Right. That sentimental value is important to gift givers that feel that love language.
These are things that make people feel loved. What's the next one?
Personal touch.
Personal touch.
Oh, the touchy feelies. Golly, love you.
And it's just not something that's like sensual or sexual. It could just be like a hug, or dapping somebody up, or they're just a touchy-feely type person that makes them feel loved.
That is very outside my comfort zone. I have friends that,
they're huggers.
Yes.
And you got to just receive it.
Yes.
Yes. Next up is Courtney, which is acts of service, doing things, having things being done for them. And you could combine these things like giving, picking up a flower and giving it to them. That's a little advanced. Anyway, so having things being done to them. Acts of service, taking out the trash, washing their car, just things,
taking something off their plate.
Yes. Then we're missing another one. What's the other one?
Gifts, affirmation, quality time.
Quality time.
Yes.
Quality time, actual spending time with a person, not just being there, but doing things with them, walking in the park.
Right. If your spouse invites you to go to Home Depot with them and you're like, nah, it's not that they really want you to go Home Depot. It's the fact that that quality time might be their love language. And by you saying no is rejecting their love.
For sure.
As silly as that sounds. So that's why it's so important to identify what are the main ways that your spouse understands love or gets that communicated to them. So, I mean, it doesn't mean that these other things don't say, I love you. It just means that these are predominantly the things that affect them in their feels, so to speak.
For sure. And not only knowing what your spouse likes or is regarding those 4 love languages, 5 love languages, sorry. What are you? How do you like to be loved within those 5 things? And let your wife or husband know the same thing so that you guys could be in unison.
Right.
I taught something.
Right. So it's important to love and respect your partner's differences and your similarities, because guess what, folks? You're not the same. You are very different, and you are very the same in many different ways. And especially for a couple like us who come from 2 totally different cultures. His family is straight from the Philippines. He's first generation. My family is totally not that. So anyways, it's just very different cultures coming together. We've been raised differently. But we have to appreciate those differences. And a lot of times we laugh about those differences in my household. But anyways, I don't want to get off on a tangent, but just learn to appreciate the differences. You don't have to get upset about them.
Absolutely. All right, so let's get into like the spiritual alignment of things, how we lay our lives out. Number 1, God is first.
Correct.
God is number 1. He is the top.
Top dog.
Yeah. That's the number 1 thing in our lives, even before her, even before my son, job, all that. But God is number 1. Make sure that God is happy and your marriage will be perfect.
Right. Goes back to that triple braided cord that I mentioned in the beginning. It's husband, wife, Holy Spirit in the middle.
That's right. That's right. Next up, after God, then you can look at your family, right? That's the next important thing.
Right.
All right. So God first, then my wife and kids.
Right. And really, it's wife is number 2, husband, ladies, is number 2.
If you want to break it down like that in subsections,
your spouse comes
is
before
next.
your children.
Absolutely.
Your children are only with you for a short period of time. Your spouse is with you for your lifetime.
For your lifetime. Your lifetime.
Right.
And
so
when you do that, your children will watch you, and you're teaching your children not knowing how they should be living their lives when they grow up.
Right. And how they should be respecting their dad or respecting their mom, because my son knows that dad is number 1 in my life. My son knows that mom is number 1 in Rico's life. So he respects us individually because he knows that mom and dad have a firm foundation and respect for one another.
Yeah.
You know, if anyways, we'll get into the kid part later, but that's absolutely, your spouse comes before your children, ladies. And then your children is number 3, and then your career is number 4, whatever that may be.
So let's play this out. So you've got, let's say, a basketball game for your kid, but it's on a Sunday morning. If that was me, I'm going to church.
Right. Sorry, Charlie. Theo knew. And in his field, he did wrestling. And they had Sunday matches all the time. Tournaments were always on Sunday. And that was church for them, for these folks. But that was not our church. That's not what we worshiped. And that was not number 1 in our life. Mm-hmm. And because we didn't make that number 1 in our life, and God was number 1 in our life, everything else came into alignment.
For sure.
And that might not be seen in, at the moment, but it's certainly seen in hindsight as well.
Right. And disclosure again, we're not marriage counselors, but this is what we did, and it's working for us. It works for sure.
Right. Enjoy the journey. People hate that word journey, like it's corny or whatever. But this life trail that we're on, enjoy it. I mean, there's going to be bumps. There's going to be situations. There's going to be things that derail us at times. But the bottom line is you have your partner for life. So, we've just try to enjoy the journey along the way. We do not take ourselves super seriously. I mean, if you follow me on Instagram, I'm constantly
joking me. Yeah.
Putting them out
stories.
there.
Go look at her stories. It's just, I'm her content, me and my son, just making fun of me.
Yeah, but they love it. They love it.
Yeah.
They love it.
I want to be tagged on each one.
Anyways, they're crazy, insane. And I just want to bring the joy to all my followers. You're welcome.
You're welcome. Like on the way, you really got to have fun in this thing. And the key to all that is laughter.
I agree.
Humor.
Right.
Like, okay. Watch her story. She's going to post this. On the way here, I'm driving, right? And I pull up next to a car, and it's the same car as mine, but it's a different color. And I'm like, I wonder if this dude wants to race. I think it was the same year car.
This man put this car, we're at the stoplight, into turbo mode.
Yeah.
Sport mode or whatever.
I felt it. Look, we're looking at each other. We like inched up right next to each other. And then I'm like, oh, he wants it. So I put the what's it called? The super sport mode on. And then, when you're waiting at a stoplight and you think it's going to turn green, but it doesn't. And then you kind of like jerk the vehicle a little bit.
Yeah, they both did that at the exact same time. Yes, so it was on like Donkey Kong.
I knew it. I was like, man, let's go. Boom. It turned green. 3, 2, 1, go. And we were like going. We were head to head. And I won.
Until homeboy slowed down to turn into Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, yeah, he went to Chuck E. Cheese.
Okay, so anyways, I think Rico might have been in his head all alone behind this one.
No, this dude was racing me. Watch the video. It's going to be on her stories. I'm telling you.
I did have to pull out my camera.
See, I'm her content.
I want to remember this forever.
It's pretty cool. It was pretty funny. I was looking at myself like, dang. All right. I saw the fire in my eyes.
Yeah. So joy is your strength. That is a biblical term. The joy of the Lord is your strength. And so, we try and keep things light and airy. And, when this goofy thing is, if I'm ever getting too like bratty or whatever, Rico will be super quick to start making fun of me. And
Works.
for whatever reason, it strongly diffuses me. And then I start giggling and geeking, and he just he diffuses me every single time.
It's the secret, fellas. Just joke your girl.
You know? So yeah, I don't know that. I don't think that would work.
It might not work on
for
everybody.
everyone.
It works for me though.
We're special.
We are kind of different.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't take yourself seriously. And listen, we're a married couple. We fight too, every once in a while.
Usually when we fight, we make it public. Like for example, one time Rico pulled out the all-purpose cleaner and he started to clean the glass with it.
Oh yeah.
I was like, "What are you doing? You can't do that." And he's like, "Yes, you can. It's all-purpose." I
All
said, "No,
purpose.
it's
You
not.
can clean glass with all-purpose cleaner.
Not. You have to use glass cleaner for glass.
That's specifically glass for glass, but all purpose is all purpose. You can wash your skin with
So
it.
we got in this
wash
huge
your
argument
face.
about it. Then Theo was like probably middle school, 5th grade-ish, somewhere around there.
We try to use
He's,
Theo as a
"Mom,
deciding
Dad,
factor.
stop it." So we called the 1-800 number on the bottle to see if they could tell us what the real deal was.
All purpose means all purpose, babe.
Then we had to call Lifelines because it was taking too long. So like
we weren't happy with the answer of the manufacturer.
Yeah.
The manufacturer said, "Ooh." So who do we call? I forgot.
I think we called a friend of ours, and we had to like Rico was manipulating the conversation.
Was not manipulating. I was
So-
stating the facts.
So then we had to call my mom, and
All
so
purpose.
he still thinks he won in his head, but
I
we
think I
all know the
won.
real deal. You cannot
You
use
can-
all-purpose.
So what do you
cleaner,
use all-purpose cleaner for, babe? What do you use it for?
not glass.
And
All the other things.
all the other things but glass.
Yeah. So moving on.
Moving on.
One of the next points
If you
is
think you can use all-purpose cleaner for glass, please let us know and solve this argument. So
never go to bed angry.
That's right.
I'm sure every single like advice at every bridal shower is said, never go to bed angry. And that is a fantastic piece of advice. And I have taken it to heart.
mhm.
Sometimes you just got to forgive the man and go to bed.
Same thing for you, fellas. Just let it go. Say sorry. Be quick to say sorry for whatever you did, and you know it because you won't be able to sleep. It's going to be a weird couple days afterwards,
They say
and then you're going to apologize anyways. You might as well have done it up front.
if you go to bed mad, it creates a root inside of this situation.
Mhm.
Call it spiritual, whatever.
Yeah, it is.
But a root is born, and it starts to grow and take hold. And
It's deep.
you don't need that in your life, my
Mm-mm.
friends. It's
Mm-mm.
not that serious. Whatever it is, as much as it may feel serious, you know, you could sit here and have a conversation about it all night long until you're blue in the face.
Over all-purpose cleaner.
But I mean, I've had to just forgive and let it go on so many occasions so I could get a good night's sleep because this chick was not going to bed angry about nothing.
That's right. That's right. Same to you, fellas. Same to you.
Okay. Another thing that we've implemented in our life in these past 19 years we've been married is we never say the D word.
The
Divorce.
D word. There, yeah, divorce. We don't say that one.
We never, ever, ever, ever say that.
If we do say it's jokingly,
And I can probably count on one hand how many times that word has come out of my mouth or his.
yeah,
And
towards
probably
each
not.
other. Yeah, we don't even want to put that seed in each other's
Right.
brain, whatever.
Right. Except for that one time we were watching My Feet Are Killing Me.
Mhm. You ever seen that show?
It's like
Yeah.
Dr. Pimper Popper on steroids. It's the worst show I've
With
ever seen
people's
in my
feet.
entire life.
Yeah,
Rico told me if I ever had that problem, he would divorce me. And I halfway believe him.
checking her feet lately. So we never use a D word, especially when we're mad.
No, never
Okay.
leave the house when you're pissed off. I mean,
Mhm.
if you do that, folks, you're sowing a seed and of abandonment or whatever that you want to leave or you
Mhm.
are going to leave. You don't do that.
Yeah, then you're gonna be saying, you know what he did? He left the house. He left me there. You're gonna
Yeah.
tell yourself stories, make up situations that don't even need to be made up.
Right. I remember we
Mhm.
don't really like fight or have issues like that for the most part. But I remember somebody said to me, we used to have people live with us at times. Rico's brothers lived with us. We
Uh-uh.
had some friends rent room from us that
Mhm.
helped us with the mortgage when we were younger. You know, we've had people stay with us. And my friend said to me, don't you guys like feel like invaded on your privacy, like you can't fight or nothing, like in front of these people, or do you fight in front of these people? Like we don't fight. What are we gonna fight about? Glass cleaner? I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Like
that's not even a fight. That's like a high volume discussion. It's like a
yeah,
debate.
right. So show grace towards one another. Never go for the jugular. Don't say things you don't mean. Don't be vicious with your
Triggering people.
tongue. And when I say tongue, I mean like with your words. Don't, be malicious and mean. That's never something we've done. We don't do that to our kids. We don't, our kids, we have one, our kid. But anyways, just control that tongue. Bite that tongue when you have to bite your tongue. Just bite your tongue. All right, let's move into being parents.
Parenting.
So maintaining harmony as husband and wife as a parent.
Yeah.
Because, you're going to come into disagreements where you're not going to 100% agree on how to handle a situation. But agreement is the big word, guys. You have to be in agreement.
Unity, unison. You guys got to be the same.
Right. Your no has to be no. Your yes has to be yes. And your kids need to know that. Because if you say no to your kids and they know you're, full of crap, then you've lost all authority and your kids are going to walk all over you.
And that's how your kids start playing you. That's how the kids become the boss of the family, because they know if they can't get mom to do something, dad'll do it.
Right.
Because the parents aren't talking.
Right.
Or if vice versa. If you can't get dad to do it, boom, smooge mom will do it.
Right. But what you said, because mom, dad aren't talking, like communication is huge. Huge. Is to be in agreement and to be communicating with one another as far as issues with, being parent. It's super duper important. And then like if he laid down the law, then I would never undermine that. I would support it 100%. Even if I 100% didn't feel it, I would support him, and vice versa. He would support me if I gave a discipline or reprimand or whatever, or direction. Absolutely. And he'd make sure that homeboy followed through.
Absolutely. Lots of prayer, especially with your kids. Lots and lots of prayer.
Yes.
Once you pray together, he sees what you're doing. He knows it's the right thing to do. It is the right thing to do.
Yes. And I have to say, like when he was little, I think it's so important that you pray with your kids. Don't just pray for them, pray with them. Right. Because I remember when he was little and he would wake up in the middle of the night and he'd be scared or something, like, what are you scared of? So we'll go in his room and we'll pray together. So like I'm teaching him how to use his weapons.
Yeah.
And I think it's super powerful. A family that prays together stays together. I mean, we'd pray together every night before we went to bed. We'd pray together at the table. We'd pray on the way to school. We prayed together, but a lot of times you don't know how to act or respond to situations or things. And so you do need the Holy Spirit's help to assist you with discipline. Discipline is such a huge, important piece of being a parent. Parenting is an action word. It's a verb. It's not just a person, a noun. It is a verb. It's something we do. So parenting, I was telling Rico earlier today, I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say to me, "Oh, you got so lucky with Theo." Excuse me? You know how many beatdowns this boy got when he was little? Like between 2 and 5 are like the biggest rearing ages. They will test every boundary possible.
Got to correct them.
That boy got so many whoopings. And for every whooping he got, he knew why he was getting it. Because that's one thing that I read in a book, believe it or not. Shepherding your child's heart teaches you how to discipline and to spiritually lead your children. And that was a fantastic book. But anyways, one of the things it said was before you give a reprimand or a spanking, you tell your child, ask them why are we here? And then they tell us why or whatever. And then I'd go on to tell them, all right, well, turn around. I'm going to spank you 2 times on your butt. And then boom, 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 or whatever. Excuse me.
She gave
boom,
him
boom.
Extra one.
2
boom, boom,
booms,
boom.
right? And then off we go. And like my brothers used to tell me, you would take that kid into the bathroom one way and you guys would come skipping out another way. Like that, he had a smile on his face and everything changed and he was a totally different person.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're welcome. It's called parenting. But anyways, Ain't nothing wrong with go whooping.
Nothing's wrong with that. I mean, you got to put the fear of dad into them. Back in the day, everyone's always talking about, oh, when dad got home, or the mom will always say, wait till your dad gets home. The fear will come over them. And that's how you got to rear them. You got to correct them. Nowadays, I see some people wait till dad comes home. Psh, what's he going to do?
Right.
He ain't going to do nothing. That type of thing. But yeah, correction for sure. Clear expectations.
Yes, that was always huge.
Always let them know what you expect from them so won't surprise you.
Right. And I feel like a lot of parents, a lot of kids don't know how to speak to adults and they don't know how to interact. And it's because parents don't tell them. How are they supposed to know if they're not told?
Just basic manners too.
Right. I cannot tell you how many times I had Theo in the car on the way out, and how many times, okay, this is what you are going to do. This is what you're not going to do. This is what I expect of you. And now here we go.
The talk.
Don't
matter where we're going. We're going to a party. This is what we expect of you. We're going to Busch Gardens. Don't be backflipping off of roller coasters. Just whatever, what we expect of you, and they'll respect it and they will do it.
Right.
And then they know if they don't do what you ask them to do or expect from them, they're going to get a beating. Put the fear in them. Anyways.
Yeah. That.
All right. What's next?
We would have family meetings sometimes too. Like
family meeting.
Before school started, we'd have a family meeting. But after, when summer started, we would have family meetings. Here's what we expect of you. This is what we need from you. This is what you're going to get from us. And then the expectations and the things were laid out. The goals were set, and off we went.
Everything's clear. Everybody knows what's going on. There's no confusion.
Right.
And we set our boundaries there. Here's one thing that I love doing with my family. I love right before New Year's, getting together, have a family meeting, and we write down our goals for the year.
Yeah.
That's my thing. It's my thing. I teach it all over again. This is what you need to do. You need to set SMART goals, specific, measurable, all that type of thing. But I love setting goals with my family, my son and my wife and myself.
Right.
Sometimes we bring somebody else in that's close to the family. We review them during the year and see the next year. We always review what we did last year. Did we set these goals? It helps us strive for something better, strive for excellence as well.
Right. And that's one of the keys for a harmonious marriage is always be growing. And when Rico kind of set forth these goals for the year, it's spiritual goals, physical goals, financial goals, relational goals. There's all kinds of different goals that we're setting for the year that we want to see ourselves grow in.
Yeah.
So reading books help us grow, help us gain knowledge. Rico and I have, never skipped a Sabbath day at church. Like, that is where we get our download, our recharge every single week is in that Sunday service. That's how you grow, spiritually, and being in the Word, and, all kinds of different ways and things to do to grow yourself in these different areas. But if you get complacent and you stop growing as a person, if one spouse stops growing, you're in trouble.
You're going to outgrow them.
That harmony isn't there anymore. Like, it's not cohesive.
Yeah.
So always be growing to be the best you can be, because, I have a responsibility to my family to give them the best of me, not just me, like a part of me.
Yeah.
So that complacency is a danger zone. Don't go there. Set goals for yourself. Cast the vision for your family. Keep dating each other.
Nice.
Yes. Keep dating each other. It's like, that's how you get complacent in a marriage is, you stop appreciating each other. You stop showing each other gratitude. I mean, some of the things you guys used to do when you first started dating, you were probably a lot more touchy-feely than you are right now, with the hugs. And I'm not talking sexual or sensual. I'm just saying, you were probably holding hands and, giving hugs and touch, rubbing the back,
opening doors.
Right. Exactly. Thankfully, Rigo still opens the door for me. Thank you, babe. Yeah, appreciate that. Most time.
Gotta keep dating them.
Keep dating them. Yes. Make decisions together. Like big decisions, they should be done together and in agreement. And if you're not in agreement yet, just hold off until you are. It's that simple. Like, for example, we this year wanted to, one of our goals has been to purchase an investment property. So we have this money put aside to move forward with that. And I like seeing that money in my bank. I want to hoard it and not spend it. And Rico's like, we got to get rid of this so that it can grow. And anyways, there's a parable in the Bible about that specifically, but I won't go into that here and now. We'll wrap this up. But anyways, once we came across the right opportunity and we're ready to pull the trigger, we were in agreement. And if you're not in agreement just yet, don't do it, because if you're not in agreement, you're going to cause problems and rifts, and that's not harmony. So once you guys are ready together, and prayer helps all these things. Prayer is the change agent.
Absolutely.
Yes. Anything else on?
Looks like we covered it all.
Oh,
spotty here, there.
Revisiting goals and ideas, revisiting finances, revisiting your plans. That's something Rico and I do often. We call it regroup. Yeah. So we have like certain goals that we have set forth. And like he said in the beginning of the year, we put these goals together, and especially financially, we will come together and revisit our goals at certain points in the year.
For instance, when you hit a financial milestone, let's say you paid off a debt or a credit card or whatever it is. Now you got to have a plan after that. What are you going to do with the money that you just paid off all this debt with? So I like to do that stuff. I kind of nerd out on it.
Right. We revisit and pivot. And it's been super rewarding to be able to see things that you guys have, that we have strived for, come to pass. And anyways, so that it's rewarding. And when you have things that you're looking forward to as a couple, that's harmony. That creates a harmony in your life.
Oh yes.
And an energy that is exciting for what's to come. And I think that's everything that we wanted to cover with you guys today.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, guys. If you guys think you're getting some value out of this right here, go ahead to the YouTube channel, Mr. and Mrs. 757, and also like and subscribe, and we will continue to make more awesome content for you. Sorry.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Until next time.
Peace.